Hey, how many times have you said, I'm fine, when you really weren't? Yeah, same here. You see, I used to think it was polite. It was easy, safe, until I realized something important. When you always say, I'm fine, people stop asking how you really are. A better phrase might be something like, I'm doing well, thanks. And you? It keeps the tone friendly, it opens the door to connection, and it still feels professional. It's just like tying this bow tie. Conversations take a little effort, a little honesty, a little style. But when you get it right, it makes a stronger connection. So, tonight we are untying boring, robotic, I'm fine, and learning a better way to answer when someone asks, how are you? So, stick around because I will share simple responses that sound real, respectful, and confident in English. And hey, if you have a question about how to improve your everyday English conversations, drop it in the chat and I'll try to answer a few at the end of the episode. Oh, and be sure to stay till the end for the Mastery Minute. I'll share one powerful idiom that can help you sound more confident right away. Let's dive in. So, let me get in here. Let me tell you about Maya. Maya is a software engineer from Korea. She's very friendly, very hardworking, speaks great English, but every time someone asked, how are you? She said, I'm fine. And that's about it. So people assumed that she didn't want to talk. They stopped talking to her as a result. And so one day she said to me, I just want to connect more, but I don't know what else to say. So we worked on a few new responses. Simple, honest, still professional. And a short while later, Maya was chatting at lunch and getting invited to team events and even led a morning stand-up meeting with a joke. It all started because she dropped I'm fine from her vocabulary. So, what did she say instead? Let me break it down for you. So, we're going to talk about some real alternatives to I'm fine. Because I think you want a real connection, but you might be afraid to connect, or you might be afraid to say too much. So my solution is, the trick is to be real, but still keep it professional. So I'll break it into 3 categories: proactive, polite, and personal. Okay? And before we go into those phrases, let's set the stage. Why is saying I'm fine a problem? Saying I'm fine is like keeping the door halfway closed. People can't walk through it, and the conversation doesn't go anywhere. So with a small shift in how you respond, you can open the door to better connection, more trust, and stronger relationships. And that's what we're all here for, right? Whether you're networking, chatting with your coworkers, or just talking with a friend, your answer to how are you sets the tone. So, sometimes you want to set a tone that is proactive, upbeat. So try these responses. We've got showing excitement. You say, hey, how are you today? I'm excited. I've got a big meeting later today. Or, I'm feeling focused. I got a lot done this morning. You might say, yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm looking forward to the weekend. Because it's Friday after all, right? It is Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. 15-minute mastery. We're ready for the weekend. So these are very powerful ways to say I'm fine, especially, or instead of saying I'm fine, to answer that question, especially when you're in leadership or if you want to just project positivity. There's a lot of power in being positive. I had a student named Diego who used to mumble, I'm fine, every time I asked him, how are you doing? So we practiced switching to something more feeling focused or feeling based on the excited feeling. So he'd say things like, I'm feeling focused. That big proposal's due this afternoon, so I'm in the game. So after a week of trying these new expressions, his coworkers started asking him for tips. So that's the power of having a little energy. All right. Let's go on to polite and positive responses. These are great for work, interviews, or professional chats when you want to keep it friendly but neutral. So we're not going to share a lot of information. So you might say, I'm doing well, thanks, and how about you? This is really warm and engaging. You might say, I'm doing all right. I appreciate you asking. So you're showing that you're appreciative. And how about this one? I love this one. I can't complain. How about you? See, you're showing nice, casual. You're showing that you're interested in them, but you're not really willing to share a lot of information yourself. One of my clients named Paolo was leading a team in Italy. Now, his English was excellent, but he defaulted to I'm fine every time someone asked him. But once he started using can't complain, how about you? It made his team feel more at ease. And suddenly his conversations didn't just stop after hello. They actually grew. This is a great way to start a conversation. Okay. And our third item on the list is being personal and honest. The personal and honest response. These help you show a little bit more of yourself. Okay? It's more real. It's more honest. So start with comments like, it's been a full day, but I'm doing okay. Huh? Not bad. It's been a full day. You're giving some more details, maybe when you're stressed. Show some vulnerability. Honestly, I'm a little tired, but I'm hanging in there. That opens the door for more questions, more conversation. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, am I still on camera? Okay, here I am. Okay. I lost you there. How about, I'm doing well. You can share some good news. I'm doing well. I finally got some good sleep last night. The baby didn't, cry all night. That's a nice one, right? When you got 4 kids, it's nice to have a night where the babies don't cry. So that's the same thing that happened to Maya, what we talked about earlier. Once she stopped hiding behind I'm fine, she started sounding more human and more relatable. I remember another client named Sophia in Taiwan. And one morning she said, I'm a little tired. My daughter had a dance recital last night. It shares some personal detail. That sparked a conversation. And then more people on her team started sharing their own stories about their kids. And it builds a bond. So this is really important stuff. Don't waste it when somebody says, how are you? Say something that builds connection. Choose your phrase and then say it like you mean it. And here's a bonus tip. If you're not sure what to say when someone asks, how are you? Plan your response in advance. You know you're going to hear that question at some point. So think about how you're feeling that day or what you're looking forward to. You can even write a few go-to phrases in your notes and practice them out loud. So next time someone asks you, you won't freeze or default to, I'm fine. you'll be ready with an answer that sounds real and natural and confident, and maybe spark some real connection. So, your challenge for this week, your challenge, if you choose to accept it. This week, answer, how are you, with something other than, I'm fine. Simple, right? Pick from one of today's list. Pick one item from the list and try it. Try it at work or with your friends or even just texting with someone. And if you found this video helpful, subscribe, hit the like button, and share this episode with someone who wants to sound more natural in English and make better connections. And if you've got a question about anything we've covered today, drop it in the chat. I'll answer a few right after the Mastery Minute, which is in a second. And if you want to read the full blog that inspired this video, you can get that at allaboutenglishmastery.com or use the link in the description. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. Okay, it's my favorite time. Time for the Mastery Minute. I hit that wrong, the wrong hotkey there. The Mastery Minute. And today's idiom is put your best foot forward. What the heck does that mean? Put your best foot forward. The expression means to make a great first impression by showing your best qualities in how you speak or act or present yourself. So, for example, when you're walking into a job interview or greeting a client for the first time or even speaking up in a team meeting, you're putting your best foot forward when you do so with confidence and care. The phrase actually dates back to the 1500s at least, and it may have originally referred to stepping forward confidently when dancing or when greeting someone of importance. And over time, it became a metaphor for presenting your best self in any situation. That's why we use it. So when you greet someone with a warm, confident answer, instead of just saying, I'm fine, you're putting your best foot forward. And when you say something honest and positive, like, I'm feeling focused today, you're making the kind of impression that helps people remember you. And so, remember, every conversation is a small opportunity to put your best foot forward. And make sure you join us next Monday night. Have a great weekend. Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Korea Standard Time, 8:30 in Taiwan and Hong Kong and China. And if you're somewhere else, you're just going to have to do the math. We're going to jump in and explore some idioms to impress in English. Not your average expressions. I love idioms. So they're the kind of expressions that make people think and say, wow, you really speak well. So you'll learn natural and powerful phrases that leave a strong impression in conversations. Don't miss it. This one is going to be packed with power phrases you'll want to use right away. And until then, keep practicing, keep smiling, and remember, every phrase you master brings you one step closer to the confident communicator you're meant to be. You're doing better than you think, and I'm proud of you. I'm Dennis Wilborn. I'll see you next time. Oh my goodness, look at all the people in the comments. All right, let me make a scene here. And hello, Glisten BB. Hello, excuse me. Excuse me. That's a great expression. Excuse me. Glisten BB has a question. How can I express that I'm not okay without saying I'm fine? Well, if you're not okay and you don't want to talk to somebody, then just say I'm fine. But if you're not okay and you seriously want to make a connection, then say I'm not okay. And then give a little reason why you're not okay. Maybe don't say I'm not okay. Give a reason why. So if, let's say, you had a bad day, then just say, well, I had a bad day. I have been struggling with my homework or struggling with my office job or things like that. That kind of honesty helps you build real connections. Whereas I'm fine, it just sounds fake and like you're not really interested in having a conversation. Excuse me says, not so good. Yeah, not so good would work in that situation. That's actually one of the songs that I teach to young kids. Hello, how are you? And one of the expressions is, I'm not so good. So, yeah, I'm not so good. And then say why you're not so good. That keeps the conversation open. So, excuse me, sometimes I wish that is as easy as it sounds. Well, it's all about practice. The more you practice, the better you get. By putting things into practice, and you're just going to get improvement. A lot of people say practice makes perfect, but perfection is impossible. So I say practice makes improvement, because it does. The more things you practice, the better you get. Go back and watch some of my old YouTube videos. Not so good. They were not so good. So, all right. All right, that's a good question. Glisten BB says, how can I express that I'm not okay, that I'm really not okay, and I need to talk it out? Well, again, that's where the honesty comes from. If you're really not okay, and someone says, hey, how are you? Well, hopefully they can see it on your face. Maybe you don't look that good. So instead of saying, how are you, you might start a conversation with what's troubling you. But if a person is not observant and they just say, how are you? Or how's it going? Or what's shaking? Or how have you been? Anything like that. Be honest. Say, yeah, I'm really not so good. I don't like to complain, but if you have a few minutes, I can tell you more about it. And that opens the door for them to want to maybe ask you questions. Tell me more about it, they might say. Oh, another question. Excuse me. How about saying can't complain? Oh, well, can't complain. No complaints. Can't complain. That's a great response to how are you? Well, I can't complain. I used to say that as a joke. I said, I can't complain, and nobody would listen if I did. It's kind of self-deprecating humor there. So, yes. If I have any more questions, I'll just answer those. Can't complain. One important tip, though, if you are interested in talking to people, always try to follow up your I'm fine or you're not I'm fine, your answer with more details, more information. Again, we talked in today's episode about if you don't want to share too much information, you can be a little vague. You can say, well, I'm not complaining, or I can't complain. I'm pretty good. I'm doing well, thank you. How about you? Those kind of things. But if you add more information to your answer, it gives it more meaning and then opens it up. I like to follow the triple A rule. I call it the triple A rule is very simple. Someone asks you a question like, how are you? You say, you answer, that's the first A. Answer the question. I'm great. Add more information. Add more information is the second A. More information could be anything, but usually it should answer the question of why you feel the way you do. So if you're hungry, oh, I'm hungry. I didn't have lunch. Oh, that's bad. So I've answered the question. I'm hungry. I added more information, and that third A is when you can ask a question back. Did you have a chance to eat dinner, or what did you have for lunch? That kind of thing. All right, one more question. What if I do not want to have a conversation with a person when I get that question? Oh, that's simple. American style. I'm fine. I'm great. Just answer with that simple one-word answer. I'm fine, I'm great, and move on. Move on with your day. If you want to have a conversation, then ask them a question. And I once had an engineer ask me. I forget, where was he from? Sweden or Switzerland or something. An engineer once asked me, why do you Americans always ask the question, how are you doing? And then not want to have a conversation? Because that is a common greeting in America. You'll see it all the time. The question is, hey, how you doing? And then you just keep walking down the hallway. Because in America, some people say, how are you doing? As a greeting. So the best answer in that case is, I'm doing well, or I'm fine, thanks. And that's it. Or I just told you, don't say fine. If you don't want to have a conversation, say fine all day. Okay? All right, that's all the time we have. We've got about 20 minutes on 15-Minute Mastery. Thanks for the great questions, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And I will see you next week. Have a great weekend. I'm Dennis, and this is All About English Mastery.